Well, good evening. Yes, I'm starting a video in the evening because Georgie and I are going on kind of an adventure tonight and I want to film it. So tonight we are headed to the Children's Hospital and we are staying overnight for George's first sleep study. I'm very impressed that he hasn't needed one up to this point. He was scheduled to have it in June, but because of COVID, they pushed any non-essential procedures back. So we are going in tonight. We have to be at the hospital at 8 o'clock. He'll hopefully sleep really good. I want to film this because a lot of people have asked me what happens during a sleep study for a toddler, and I don't know. So I'm going to film it as we find out together. So, yeah, I will take you through what I can. I mean, it is in a hospital, so I have to, like, be in a mom mode, but I'll see what I can do. So the reason Georgie is having a sleep study, it's very common for kiddos with Down syndrome to have sleep studies, usually in their first year of life. It's very common for kids with Down syndrome to have some kind of obstructive sleep apnea because of the low muscle tone in their airway and in their diaphragm and things like that. Please hold. Okay, sorry. As I was saying, I was talking to my mom. It's very common. Obstructive sleep apnea is super duper common, and I've always had some concerns about sleep apnea with George. He snores. He's a really light sleeper. There's been phases where he has for sure not gotten good rest at night. And a couple other things. Naps have never been good, but the snoring is a really big red flag for sleep apnea. And also, when George was in the hospital for croup at Christmas, the ER nurse was explaining some things to me and noticed that she suspected that George had some obstructive sleep apnea. And that was like, what, 8 months ago? So at his last ENT appointment, she ordered a sleep study that was supposed to happen in June, like I said, but it's happening today. We'll talk in a few weeks to our ENT about what's happening. I don't necessarily know what I think is going to happen. Like, I don't know. His snoring has gotten better as he's gotten bigger, and his sleep habits have improved, so he might have grown out of it already, which can happen, according to my pediatrician. So we'll see. I don't know what to expect, and I don't really know what's going to happen, but I know that hopefully he's going to get some sleep tonight. Okay, so let me walk you through what I am bringing. This is all recommendations from stuff that other moms who have gone through this have told me to bring. So for George, I've brought his blanket, his white noise machine, some jammies. Here, I'm going to come on this side. His favorite jammies, a couple of his favorite books, diapers, which we don't usually use disposables very often, so disposable diapers. I'm going to pack some juice for him, and this will be for his milk, his nighttime bottle, some snacks, and yes, that's what I have for him. These are my snacks. I've got some goldfish that he can have, and then when he hopefully goes to sleep, some Oreos for me, my water. This is my stuff now. My little bag of toiletries. I have a blanket, the National Down Syndrome Adoption Network blanket, a pillow, some pajamas, and they told me to, my friends all suggested to bring extra layers for me because it usually gets cold. For sure a mask. I have the super comfy mask, which is nice. It's got a filter in it, which I love. And this mask is my most comfy mask, which is going to be good because I'm going to be wearing it until 6 a.m. Phone charger, camera charger, laptop, headphones, a couple of other computer things. My plan is to hang it on the computer while he sleeps. And then I'm bringing some wipes and some hand sanitizer. So this is all, hopefully, I'm hoping I'm overpacking and some of this is just preventative, but I mean, they are saying to like mimic nighttime as much as possible. So the blanket and the white noise machine and books and bottle are like the key. And then this is all just to kind of keep me occupied. I've been told to keep my expectations low for how much sleep I'm going to get, so I'm going to remain pessimistic about it and hopefully be surprised, but we'll see. So that's what I'm bringing. I'm going to pack it up. We're going to take off to the hospital in just a little bit. We just got here. We're doing good so far. He stayed asleep in the car, or he stayed awake in the car, so he's going to sleep up there. They're going to put this up so that it's a crib. This is where I will sleep. All of these wires are going to hook up to his little body. He's getting sleepy. So we're just waiting. We filled out some paperwork and There's nobody here at this hospital. Literally, we are the only patients in this whole hospital. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Huh? Yay. Can you clap your hands? Clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. It's 3 a.m. We did pretty good. Can you say hi? He slept from 9:30 to like 10:50, and then he was up, and they got everything they needed. So we're gonna go home. We're busting out of here. We're busting out of here. We're gonna go home. He slept on this bed, and they gave me this bed, but I ended up sleeping in here with him. He did a really good job, all things considered. He had to be hooked up to all this stuff, so no thanks, let's not eat stuff. There's a pandemic. Okay. So he's starting to pull everything off, and they got everything they needed, so Mr. Mommy and I are gonna go. Can you say yay? Can you clap your hands? Clap, clap, clap. No, far too interested in that. Clap, clap, good job. He's very happy. He really is. He will go singing and playing. Yay. Ted will be here soon. Well, hello. It's the next day. It's actually like 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day after our sleep study. Everyone in the house took naps because that was, I won't lie, a real bad time. That was really kind of the worst. That was really bad. I couldn't like film some of it because it was so hard, and like George was, when they were hooking him up to all of the stuff, it was really brutal. He was really upset, and I mean, obviously he only slept from 9:30 to 1:30, and then at 3 they let us go home, 3:30ish. So we called Kyle and he came to get us, which was good, because then we got a few hours of sleeping in our own beds at home, which was very helpful. But in general, it went pretty well. I mean, they got everything they needed to out of it. It was a sleep tech, it wasn't a sleep doctor. What those are called? ENT. So she couldn't tell me what she thought the results were going to be. However, I learned a lot about George's snoring and sleeping habits last night. Obviously, it was much different because he was connected to so much, but he snores really loud. It was really kind of scary for me. At one point, I asked the nurse if it was normal for a baby to snore this loud, and her response was, well, babies who get sleep studies snore this loud. So my guess is he does have some form of obstructive sleep apnea. George was hooked up to 14 wires. He had wires all over his head, cheeks, next to his eyes. He had a mic on to monitor snoring, and then he had belts along his belly to monitor how big his chest would get when he breathed, and then he had sensors on his legs to go off every time he moved. So, and then there were also a couple cameras in the room that were going to connect all of the data to like a video. So if George was like tossing and turning at one point, they marked it. Basically every time George moved, he woke up because there was so much attached to him. You saw it was awful. It was awful. Nothing hurt. Like, and that's what I want to say, because I know it looks kind of upsetting, but like nothing hurt him at all. He was just uncomfortable, which I understand completely. We were so grateful that the tech let us co-sleep, because I was not comfortable just like leaving him in that bed attached to all that stuff. There was no way he could have choked or anything, but it just like, he was so sad and so upset. There was like maybe half an hour where he slept on the bed by himself, and I sat on the little bed they gave me and just watched him. We cuddled for the few hours that we were there, which was nice. So, some things that I wish I had known or had done. Number 1, I wish I had done the bedtime routine before they attached everything to him. Like, I wish I had, like, taken the steps to get him ready for bed while he was still wire free, because once he was wired up, I really couldn't do anything. I didn't do anything myself. Like, I didn't sleep at all. I like got comfortable for maybe 20-25 minutes at one point, but I didn't fall asleep. I was just listening to him breathe. So if your child is younger and can like be swaddled during a sleep study, I think it would be way easier. So like books and computers and stuff like that would probably be a great idea for the parent. But my kid was just not having it, so I didn't do anything. One time he fell asleep when he was asleep for a good long stretch, I was on my phone just like talking to friends and like morale boosting, but that was really it. I mean, I never opened my computer. I never opened a book. I didn't do anything. So I overpacked for sure, but I think that was a result of the circumstance of George and not necessarily like a sleep study thing. 2-piece pajamas were key. 2-piece pajamas. If your child needs a sleep study, put them in 2-piece pajamas, not a zip up. Because they need to get into like feet and on their chest and stuff like that. So, oh, he also had a couple wires on his back. So, 2-piece pajamas, socks, and then everything that I brought, just do it before they hook him up. So if I had read him a book and given him, well, I gave him his bottle after. Oh yeah, that's a good thing. Give him the bottle after, or if you're gonna do like juice or whatever to soothe them, do it after they're hooked up. So do bedtime routine pre-hookup, then soothing post-hookup, because that was the most upset I've ever seen him, ever. That was the most upset. And that was hard. And so he drank his bottle afterwards, and that's when he fell asleep. Like, he was not having any of it. And the last two, like, big sticking points with me for the night was, number one, I'm so grateful. We had an awesome experience with the Children's Hospital of Michigan. One of their satellite locations is only 15 minutes from our house. And we went there, and when I say we were literally the only people there, they don't have any overnight stays except for sleep studies, and we were the only sleep study going on. So there was an emergency room on the other side of the hospital that was empty when I came in and left. And then it was just me and George and the tech. So we felt extraordinarily, tremendously safe. And the last thing, George is awake. The last thing I want to remember is that at one point the nurse said, oh, well, he's had like medical stuff happen to him before this, hasn't he? And I realized, no. Hi, Buggy. I realized, and I told the nurse, I was like, really? This is the most invasive medical thing. Good morning, Bug.
3.5 hour nap.
3.5 hour nap. I love it. This is the most medically invasive thing he's ever had in his 19 months of life. And for that reason alone, I can't even care how rough last night was, because, like, okay, I can care. I cared. It was the worst.
But
it puts it into perspective. Like, if the worst thing that he has gone through in 19 months of life is a sleep study, just made me feel really, really lucky. We've all recovered by now. He's totally fine. Hi, Georgie. You gonna play with your cat?
He slept in and just finished a 3.5 nap.
3.5 hour? Hi.
3.5 hour nap. So he's.
Are you in a good mood?
I think at this point I'm now the one who's the tiredest.
Yeah. It was awful, but we did it. And yeah, that's that. That's our sleep study experience. The next video is a very exciting video. I'm gonna film a very exciting day on Tuesday.
Okay.
So make sure you follow along, because it's gonna be a big deal. Oh, my son is bringing me a book. You wanna read? You wanna read that book? Okay, I gotta go. Bye.